Okay. Well, welcome to my and Sam's presentation for our network plan. I will be speaking to you as though I am presenting this to the company we want to implement it to. Okay. So, a little bit about us at we at Cosmo Connections. We connect your business or company using our most advanced network plan. Boy, do we have an advanced network plan for you. Let's talk about the product overview. First, I want to turn your attention over to this lovely picture on the left. This is a real life example of what your network system could look like. And no, it is not a stock photo we pulled from Google. So, what makes our product unique? Well, we have five main things that make our product unique. The first one is network redundancy. So, when we go in and install fiber lines, there are fiber lines that are future proof, meaning it's a one time installation that should last decades. The second thing that makes our product unique is an intrusion prevention system. Top of the line intrusion prevention system that helps stop malicious activity on the network. Now, this will help um, protect the network from inside and outside malicious activities on the network. The third thing that makes our product unique, each office is on a separate VLAN. You're like, what the heck is a VLAN? Explain that in a little bit. But essentially, this makes it more private and easier to manage. Especially from an admin standpoint. It is much easier to manage your employees if each office is on a separate VLAN. The fourth thing that makes our product unique is there's room for growth. This is built for at least 50% growth in the future. We know you're an upcoming and big company that will be growing here probably in the next few years. And so we will build out your network, planning ahead. You know that this is at least good for 50% growth in the future. The fifth and final thing that makes our product unique is integration. Our plan integrates well with the current building design and company policies. All the documents you've handed us and everything that we've went over, our plan fits perfect. So let's talk about some security concerns. Pardon me. The first kind of security concerns I'll talk about today are physical security concerns. So we have two main issues that we've identified when it comes to physical security. So the first one is unauthorized access to network equipment. The second one is an internal saboteur. So let's talk about the first one, unauthorized access to network equipment. It's one of the largest physical security concerns out there, and this includes physically tampering with network devices and connections. So to address this concern, the infrastructure equipment is secured by an access management system where only IT staff have access. Um, we have placed all of the infrastructure equipment in the basement, at least that's according to our plan, in a well ventilated equipment closet. Um, so, by utilizing cable conduits in the building and existing security camera locations as well, we should be able to detect any attempts to tamper with Ethernet connections or the network equipment. The second concern is internal saboteur. So basically, anyone on the inside, whether that be staff, guests, employees, whatever, may try to cut off power. They may try to deny service to the network by taking down power or destroying existing connections. So, to address this, we have installed multiple, or we will install multiple uninterrupted power supplies. Yes, so that the network equipment always has power. So someone tries to attempt to cut off the power to the entire building, even if the entire building goes down, the network equipment and everything on the network will still be up and running because it has its own power supply. Let's talk about network security concerns and solutions. So the first and pretty much the only network, the biggest one that we've identified, um, is malicious actors gaining unauthorized access to the network. Like I talked about earlier, this could be outside attackers or inside attackers. So we have four solutions for this. The first solution is installing a firewall and an intrusion prevention system. The second one is implement DNS blocking. Third one is isolate the guest Wi-Fi networks. The fourth one is assign all unused drop connections to their own VLAN. I just want to talk about the firewall slash intrusion prevention system and isolating the guest Wi-Fi networks. So this first one, the intrusion prevention system, essentially we have a firewall and an intrusion prevention system in each of the buildings. So all the traffic goes to these devices and acts as the gateway connection for all the VLANs. These devices are a great security feature and will look for suspicious traffic on the network and automatically block these connections. Additionally, we'll implement DNS blocking by blocking malicious and unpredictable web requests. So, and we can further mitigate the ways that a malicious actor can connect to the network by isolating the guest Wi-Fi networks. This will prevent them from communicating with any other network devices and will stop a malicious actor from accessing network resources as a guest. The guest kind of has its own privileges, and we will assign that. And that way, the business Wi-Fi and connections, that be physical and Wi-Fi connections, are not even in close contact with the guest Wi-Fi networks. So if somebody tries to hack the guest Wi-Fi network, they won't have access to anything business related. So yeah, and then assigning all unused drop connections to their own VLANs. This helps stop. This will help stop a malicious actor from plugging into the Ethernet and having direct access to the network. Okay, let's talk about financials. So I'm going to go through kind of most of these real quick. So these are all of the hardware and software things that you will need when we implement this network plan. The first one is an access point. So we will have in the office building 6 access points, and in the lab building, we will have 3 access points for a total of 9. And that total price is about $1,600. Then we will purchase 10,000 feet of Ethernet cable. You may think, wow, that's a lot. And yes, it is a lot, but it is always good to have a little bit extra just in case something goes wrong, a cable breaks, or part of the installation, maybe we break it and that's on us. It's always good to have extra Ethernet cable. This also helps for kind of plan for the future for 50% growth, just in case we need to add more devices. So 10,000 feet will cost roughly $4,200. An Ethernet certifier, just making sure that each of the cables that we build and install actually work, and that they will be able to route everything to each of the devices. An Ethernet crimper, that's just a tool that's always good to have around in case you need to build out another Ethernet cable. Ethernet female and male terminal ends, those are what plug into each of the devices. That's about $200 for 200, so about $1 per. And fiber installation, and this includes the hardware. So the fiber installation will also include digging out the tunnel or digging out the ground to connect the 2 buildings together. So this is for a total of about $35,000. Our firewall and intrusion prevention system will have 1 in each building, so the office building and the lab building, for a total of $1,444.44. That's a lot of fours. Hopefully you can remember that. The install and configuration labor, so this includes installing each of the devices, Ethernet cables, and configuring all of the firewalls and intrusion prevention systems. That's for a total of $35,000. The internet will get you very fast 2 gig speed business Ethernet internet. It runs on through Ethernet. Pardon me. This will be about $250 monthly per building for a total $500 per month. Maintenance cost of keeping this up is about $25,000 per year. We will have 48 port switches. We'll have 2 in each building for a total of $1,835.96. A network engineer or your IT person will have 1 in each building and their total salary will be about $90,000 each. So that's a total of $180,000. Also give you 2 network racks, 1 in each building for a total of $3,000. Also install 2 routers, so 1 in each building for a total of about $800. And last but not least, our interrupted power supply, or our UPS. We'll have 4 in each building. This will ensure that there's enough power to each of the devices and to make sure that if anything goes down power-wise in the building, that the network will still be up. So we'll put about 4 in each building for a total of $4,000. This is the nerdy topology that we have come up with. So let me explain this a little bit to you. On our left, we have the office building router, and on the right, we have the lab building router. So the routers connect to office security and lab security. Those are layer 3 devices, and then those connect into the distro offices. So on the left, we have the office distro 1 and 2. Those are layer 2 devices, and those go into each of the offices. So we have IT office, marketing office, sales office, VP of marketing, manager office, administrative support, accounting. Those are split into 2 offices, and the doctor's office. For the office distro 2, we have office AP 1 through 4, and then we have HR, which is split into 2 offices. We have a conference room, training office 1 and 2. And under each of those, we have included how many drops we will have in the ceiling for connections, as well as which VLAN each of those go on. So as you can see, they've all been split up into different VLANs, and this will help from an administrative standpoint be able to manage each of the offices better. On the right, we have the lab building router that connects into our lab security, and then those go into one distro. And the one distro has the administrator space, the Lab AP1, Lab AP2, Lab AP3, and Lab AP4, Lab AP5. There's also a classroom, a control room, and an analytical lab. And we also have lab isolated operations. So those are connected to the analytical lab, the operations lab, and the control room. We've included how many drops and which VLANs those are each on. And those are connected via a redundant double fiber connection. This ensures that no internet drop speed. So speed will be there between each of the buildings. They're also connected so that all of your information is up to date as quick as possible. Here's kind of a quick VLAN breakdown, kind of an easier to read in my opinion. Have you just take a look at that for a minute, but we've split it up into internal resources, HQ resources, company cloud resources, internet productivity, internet leisure, and search engines. So each of those have been put under its own VLAN, and any of the unallocated VLANs have their own kind of section. You can see some of them have straight X's through them. Most of them have green boxes or the other X's. Well, thank you so much for listening to our presentation. I really hope you consider hiring us, and we feel confident enough that Cosmo Connections will be able to link your buildings together to further your business. Thank you so much.